You know, when we picture deadly things in nature, our minds usually go straight to neon dart frogs or like vibrant banded snakes. Nature's stop signs, basically.
Yeah.
Welcome to today's deep dive, by the way.
Right, yeah. Apposematism. It's
Ugh,
the classic biological warning system.
exactly. And that's why today's focus is just so fascinating. We are unpacking a stack of sources on Inocybe geophylla, which is known as the white fibrecap.
It's a fascinating one.
Yeah, because it just looks like a tiny, delicate, plain white mushroom. You know, you wouldn't even look twice at it. But we're going to see how it hides this deadly chemical arsenal and a really strange ecological secret.
It really is a master of disguise. I
Mhm.
mean, it might look completely innocent, but the chemical engineering happening inside this tiny fungus is just staggering.
Right. And the deception starts the second you get close to it because, well, the sources note it emits a really startlingly foul scent. It actually smells heavily of semen.
Yeah, it's quite a specific odor profile.
It's basically a botanical catfish, right? Like, why would a fungus evolve to put out this specific repulsive smell? It has to be attracting something.
Well, the chemistry doing the heavy lifting there is a volatile compound called 1-pyrroline. It's a nitrogen-based molecule that you also find in chestnut flowers. And weirdly enough, the sex pheromones of male Mediterranean fruit flies.
Wait, fruit flies? That is so bizarre.
Yeah, it pumps this out to perfectly mimic decaying protein-rich matter, and that brings in the Saprophagus flies.
Oh, so the ones specifically looking for a rotting material to feed on or, like, lay their eggs in?
Exactly. They land, they get coated in spores, and then they fly off to propagate the fungus. But the mechanism controlling how it releases that scent is what's truly brilliant.
Because it's not just a constant smell, right?
Right. The volatility of 1-pyrroline, basically how much of it vaporizes into the air. It spikes 1,000-fold with just a microscopic shift in environmental pH, specifically right around 6.8.
Oh, wow. So the tiny change in the soil's acidity essentially flips a switch.
Yes. Shifting the pH alters the electrical charge of the molecule. When the soil hits that 6.8 sweet spot, the compound deprotonates. It becomes neutral, loses its water solubility, and just instantly vaporizes into a gas.
So it goes from barely detectable to, like, a chemical siren in seconds.
Precisely. It uses this highly tuned broadcast to manipulate insects. But if a human comes along, that exact same fungal machinery acts as a rapid-fire weapon.
Right, because this species is absolutely loaded with muscarine. That's the neurotoxin famous for giving the red and white Amanita muscaria its kick.
Yeah, only the white fibrecap is exponentially more concentrated.
Wait, the sources say this mushroom is only like 1 to 4 centimeters across. It's literally the size of a thumbnail. Can something that tiny actually hold enough toxin to do real damage to an adult?
Unfortunately, yes. I mean, their small size actually compounds the danger because foragers easily sweep them up alongside edible species.
Oh, that makes sense. You just don't notice them in the bunch.
Exactly. There was a 2015 case study out of Kerala, India, that documented 11 people poisoned from a single meal. And that included a 6-month-old baby who was affected entirely through breast milk.
Wait, really? If the toxin is metabolizing and passing through breast milk, that implies it's hitting the bloodstream and bypassing the body's defenses incredibly fast.
It is. The onset is brutal, usually just 15 to 30 minutes. Muscarine causes what's called the PSL toxidrome.
And that's parasympathetic, right?
Right. It chemically mimics acetylcholine, which is a major neurotransmitter. Essentially, the toxin violently hijacks the parasympathetic nervous system's receptors. Those are the controls for resting and digesting.
So your body just goes into massive overstimulation.
Yeah, severe sweating, profuse salivation, blurred vision, and a dangerously dropping heart rate.
And as if synthesizing lethal amounts of muscarine wasn't enough, it's also a bioaccumulator. It aggressively pulls heavy metals like arsenic out of the soil.
Yeah, it packs them, along with the highest concentrations of muscarine, straight into its stem.
It's like it's building a heavily fortified structure.
It really is. It's a lethal landmine for us.
But that dense toxicity actually serves as a protective conduit for, like, a botanical vampire beneath the soil. Because the white fibrecap builds mutualistic networks with trees like pines and oaks, trading soil minerals for carbon.
Right, which is a standard symbiotic exchange.
Yeah.
But that pipeline gets hijacked by the ghost orchid, Epi-muscarine phyllum.
Which is this rare leafless orchid that literally cannot photosynthesize.
It has zero chlorophyll. So to survive, the ghost orchid acts as a pure parasite. It taps directly into the white fibrecap's mycelial network.
Oh, so it just siphons off the carbon that the toxic mushroom originally traded for with the forest canopy.
Exactly. It uses this highly toxic fungal network as a protected ecological highway to steal the energy it needs.
That is just wild. So the next time you are hiking and you spot a tiny, plain white fungus by your boot, keep in mind that you might be looking at a master chemist running an invisible war.
It's bioaccumulating arsenic, harboring deadly neurotoxins, and keeping parasitic ghost orchids alive in the dark.
Absolutely. And, considering how that one pure lane scent volatility explodes with microscopic shifts in soil pH, it leaves you wondering,
Wondering about what?
well, as weather patterns shift the soil chemistry, could this fungus be actively tuning its chemical broadcast to manipulate local insect behavior, like based on the rain or temperature?
Oh, that's a fascinating thought. A botanical catfish,
Yeah,
constantly adjusting its bait as the clouds roll in.
exactly. Something to definitely ponder on your next walk in the woods.